of these QR codes. And folks have also felt like they needed to pay for these, and you actually don't have to pay for them. And so I want to show folks at least one easy way to do it. Um, so I'm on my laptop and I'm using Google Chrome, but you could do it on Firefox, you could do it on uh, Microsoft Edge. Lots of different Internet Explorers have this option. Um, so I'll show you on my Mac here in Google Chrome. And I have navigated to mobilize.us, and many of you are familiar with Mobilize because it is a repository for lots of different events that we go to, whether it's on Zoom or in person, what have you. So if you have an event that you wanted to create a QR code for example, No Kings is coming up, and I just happened to see the No Kings uh, listing the event for Arlington Heights. So if I'm Bill and I'm trying to promote the Arlington Heights No Kings and I want a QR code for it, I'm going to go to my Mobilize page for that event. So here I am. And this is where, and if this is where I want to send people, then I'm on this page, and this is going to be so easy. Like I said, it's going to blow your mind. All you have to do is click anywhere, right click anywhere where it's kind of a blank spot. There's nothing where there's no text or pictures or anything. Just right click anywhere there's a blank spot, and you'll get this menu, and it says create QR code for this page. And then a little window pops up. And for some reason, the ones that Google Chrome creates has a little dinosaur in the middle, which is actually super cute. Um, and then you can copy that if you wanted to put it in an email or something. You could copy and then paste it, or you could download the image file and do whatever you want to do with image files. So it's really that easy. Um, so that's how I do it on a laptop. And just to repeat it, you go to the website where you want to send people to, you right click anywhere, and then click create QR code for this page. And then it pops up. Okay, so now I'm going to try to show you how to do it on an iPhone. And everybody cross your fingers because this is usually where my stupid computer crashes, but we'll try it. So you're looking at the video of my iPhone. I don't have an Android, so I don't know how to do anything on an Android. But so I'm going to go into Safari, and let's hope that there's nothing scandalous that's open in Safari. I've got a little bit of a lag, so just so I have this I guess whatever this page is um about ICE doing stuff that's illegal in Broadview. And so if I want to create a QR code for this page, um, I'm going to click this share button or export button. It's the middle one that has the square with an arrow coming out of it.
Mm.
And then usually if you scroll down far enough, sorry, I'm trying to do this on my computer and there's a lag. Hmm.
You can open in Chrome.
Well, what I want to do is create there we go. Okay. So if you scroll down far enough, you can open it in Chrome if you have Chrome installed. I was looking for a way to do it directly using Safari, and it doesn't appear that they have that. But once you open it in Chrome, let's see. If you click those three dots, I should have looked at this before I started trying to show you guys.
That's why we call it hands-on.
Ums and ahs here.
Yes, we'll get to the how-to portion in a second.
Eventually. Please just scroll down. Okay. Maybe that's not even the right place to click. Maybe it's the share button. Ah, yeah. So up in the top, next to the name of the website, you have that share or export button. You click that, and then if you scroll down, there is a create QR code. So there's an extra step when you're on your phone to open it first in Chrome, and then you can, come on, then you can do the create QR code. This looks a lot harder than it actually is, but that's just because I'm on my laptop. So I will stop sharing. So the takeaway there is that it's probably easier to do it off of a laptop, because it's really just like go to the website, you right click, and then click create a QR code. Hopefully that helps.
So if anybody does have a question on the Android side, Laura can talk to it. She can't show her phone, but she can speak to it. But we don't need to go through it if no one has a question about it. So if anybody has a question about Android, raise your hand and we'll try and get you an answer, because I want you guys to feel left out. You know, if we're going to run Android on a Safari, we're going to have to Safari on our Android. We're going to have to learn how to do that, by God. So, okay.
Rebecca, will you be doing an update later on the newest features in Discord?
I wasn't
if
planning
needed?
on it,
Okay,
but I can if there are
if
folks
we
that
have
are
time.
interested.
Okay, yes. Let's go to Cecilia now. I know she's
Yes.
been said.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
there have been some updates recently in AI that I wanted to discuss with y'all. Real quickly, OpenAI has just released their GPT-5. Just basically, there have been some basic updates in all of the main AI models. So GPT-5 has been updated. Microsoft launched their Copilot Studio, and Anthropic unveiled Claude Sonnet 4.5. And then Meta introduced DevMate, an AI-powered coding assistant that integrates multiple rival models for enhanced debugging and efficiency in software development. And then there's been a Zoom AI Companion 3.0 rollout with improved meeting notes, search, writing suggestion features, and agentic task support. So if you've been getting booted or having troubles in Zooms recently, that might be one of the causes. A lot of times when they have major rollouts or any kind of updates, those kind of things, issues would happen. One of the things I wanted to talk about, I dropped it in the chat a long time ago. I'll have to do it again because it happened before y'all were in here. So hold on, let me find it. I just happened to see a video about something that was released recently, and it is a necklace that is a companion, your AI companion, and it runs any kind of AI assistant that you have, I believe. I did not do a background on that part of it. I just watched the basic introduction that was on the video. Sorry, hold on. Having trouble finding what I posted. Anyway, point is, the 22-year-old who created it believes that the AI is kind of like a benevolent God that you're talking to, that you should open up to, because it doesn't judge, the AI doesn't judge you. So you can be really open with it. And y'all, this is getting a little out of control. A lot of these things that are being put out, a lot of these people need to touch some grass and need to go out, and they need to meet their friends again and meet real people again. I'm not saying that AI doesn't help us. Again, this is what this class is about. How can AI help you? How can technology help you? How can it make your lives easier? How can it make your lives better? But when we have videos like this and you can watch it, you can see it, I worry. Okay, so it's from the Bulwark, by the way. So you know that it's from former Republicans. Okay, hold on, I found it. Here we go. Let me put this in here. That was my AI update. 78% of organizations now use AI. 78% of organizations now use AI, demonstrating rapid adoption across all sectors. Yes, Alfeo.
I was with an AI training. Well, no, not an AI training, a media training with, and I'm still trying to get. Boy, you called me too quick here.
Well, that's okay. You take your time.
The bottom line is that they said that what they use to learn with the AI to find the information is sometimes subject to misinformation, because Wikipedia, it was like the whitehouse.gov, and so it uses that and a couple of other places. I can't list them right now, but they all subject to some misinformation. So you always got to take everything with a grain of thought of salt, and it's just a tool. And so like you said, kids doing that is the wrong way to use AI. That's all.
Yes. And so this video is the FYP. It's actually their Gen Z podcast, and the first half of it is part of where Chicago residents are actually scaring off ICE. So y'all might actually enjoy that. And then the second part is talking about the AI friend that I'm worried about. Sabrina.
No, it's something totally to be worried about because, yeah, as I don't know who it was, Alfio maybe, but the important thing to remember is this is machine learning, right? So this is whatever data goes in is what the program knows. It doesn't know anything that you don't put in there. So for example, I know, and this was a while back, this maybe even was more than a decade ago when they started using something like AI to assist police officers in fighting crime, right? Well, the problem was humans are really biased. And we know there's a bias against people of color when it comes to arrest and convictions, etc. So, of course, they're being directed to neighborhoods of people of color because that's where they policed before. And so so it's just a cycle. It's just reinforcing this bias, this racism in the system. And so yeah, be very careful with AI because I even saw something recently about how they were talking about all that stuff with Title 10 and the amount of power that Trump has and whatever happened to Stephen Miller on that with the glitch. I don't know. He's like, oh no, that wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's primo stuff. Also, I heard somebody describe his accent as um somebody who was kind of pouting, but also like a valley girl. And if you
Ooh.
because he comes from California. It's pretty funny when you start listening to it because I did start hearing it after a while. I was like, oh, yeah, that is what he sounds like. Anyway, but yeah, so garbage in, garbage out kind of thing. You got to be careful with AI. And especially with the kids because there are apparently no guardrails.
There are none. They def yeah, with them in charge, they aren't looking to put up any. So that is
The good news about that would be that the restriction is the right word. The restriction against AI laws for the next 10 years that was in the big beautiful bill has been removed by the Senate when it came out. So granted, we are in a maelstrom right now as it relates to this without regulation. And at the same time, we are poised to have the opportunity to put some bumpers around everything going forward because that got removed. And they're just generally the only person who voted against it was Tom Tillis, 99-1 to pull that out of the revision going forward. So I get it. And I get garbage in, garbage out. I don't know how many folks remember the Google debacle over how they were training AI with photos and what it was coming back with. And I'm not going to go into it if you don't know, but early pieces and parts of this were not pretty. And what I will say is to Sabrina's point about black faces, they did not come back with the right response image. So everybody can go figure that out for themselves. But we have been trying to train AI. And what generative AI does is both good and bad. It allows you to include and exclude sources based on how you are looking at it. So I get it. You're right. Garbage in. I can tell it to only use things I have written, and it will, in fact, only return things that I think. And particularly with generative AI, the more you speak to it, the more it wants to like you. So we talk about hallucinations. I have to frequently tell my AI, quit liking me and tell me the truth. I need you to dig deep. I talk to it in that way. So, yeah, I mean, it is trainable. And we are talking about something called generative AI. So by definition, what it does is create from what you have given it. I will get so hosed up sometime in my prompts, I just start over because it has completely, like, I've lost it and it's not coming back. So the stuff that you're hearing about that is creating automation, we've never really talked about because it doesn't have a lot of use for us, but it's called agenic AI. And what it does is it adds in a worker role. So ideas or actions that you perform routinely can be repeated by the AI in the background. That was a major upgrade. You used to have to use another tool. So my use case for it in the last week is when the Broadview protests were going on. And I wanted an update every hour. When I was done getting and crafting who I wanted my news sources to be, all the things. I told her I want every news source you can find, just so you know. And I asked it every hour to go back and run that same query and give me an alert if something had changed. So now we've moved from talking to ourselves to being able to automate things. And that's a whole nother subject, but I just wanted to flesh out a little bit of what the elements were that were included. And there is a huge amount of discussion, intention being set forward, particularly with Chat GPT, to make sure that there are child controls. So I have talked too long. I am so sorry.
Don't apologize.
Actually, I want to say you're totally right. I have told people who are like scared, I'm like, listen, this is the next step, whether you like it or not. It's out there. Use it. We learn from it, etc. Because we're not stopping it at this point. There's no way. I mean, we're an international community. This is not going to stop. And so I'm with you. Learn how to use it. Learn how to use it correctly. It's like Wikipedia. People laughed about that before. Now I'm like, it's pretty legit now. I mean, do I double check it? I double check everything.
A lot of folks on this call may not remember when the internet first came out and it was dial up with Prodigy. And there was an entire world that said, oh my God, this is going to be something. And we would sit and watch while the screen loaded. For anybody who doesn't know, that's the sound of a modem. I didn't just have a glitch. That was really a real computer sound. I was me making a modem. And then you were connected. And I got to tell you, it was 1992, and it was the first time I had been there, and I thought the world had broken open for me. So just so but everybody was telling me, be careful, you're going to get hurt. And I thought, my wife actually said we need a good housekeeping seal of approval for websites because we're not going to know the truth.
Yes.
Okay, somebody else can talk. Alfeo. Or maybe Will first. Are you ready,
yeah.
Alfeo? Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Just real quick, you're talking about learning AI, and we really have to be paying attention because in the political scene, our adversaries are using this extensively on everything. They're creating bots to give us misinformation on the internet, to lie with us, to do just about anything right now. Learn about us, figure out what we're doing. It's all there, and so we got to get on top of this stuff.
So, Alfeo, I have roots that are similar to yours in that I'm going to make a stretch. In 1991, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh because I felt like unless I knew the enemy, I couldn't talk about the enemy. I couldn't intelligently address what I was being presented with and the origins of it. So I really get you when we talk about this because I go into the belly of the beast too to see what I find. I just don't talk about it a lot. But if you don't know what's happening, I have learned how to spot things. The video creation enhancements in Chat GPT are astronomical for creating altered reality videos. This stuff is in our world. And I just want you to know how to do it safe, buddy, because I learned. Will.
Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Yeah, this AI tech is out of control. These billionaire CEOs that work with the big tech giants, they're all, like working together to make sure that, that we're being, controlled. But yeah, it's really realistic. But I do have a question. Has anyone went to the Broadview ICE protests? Or know anyone that went to the Broadview ICE protests?
Yes.
Yep, I've
Really?
been there. But I think for today's purposes, we're mainly going to focus on technology topics.
Yeah.
If you are available, we do have sort of an open mic session every weekday morning at well, I guess two places. So every morning, every weekday morning, there's coffee and conversation at 9 Central. It's this same link, so you could join us then. Or if you want a little bit more of it's a targeted, not targeted. What am I trying to say? It's
We will
focused.
definitely be
Focused,
talking
focused,
about
focused.
Broadview tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the same
Yeah.
link for sorting soup, is what she's trying to say.
Yep.
And it is
Yeah,
more targeted. But yeah, go on.
on technology, yeah, this, we all know the BlackRock CEO, meeting with Trump in 2017, and the BlackRock came from the firm Blackstone, which manages an $85 billion global data center platform, and surely enough, that data center is backed up by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, you're right. It's been happening and coming for a long time now. And if you look back, you can actually track and you can see the generate, like where it came from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just big corporations, and surely enough, that this regime that governs DC and the people, it's being taken advantage of, and the cash flow is going to the billionaires and the top tech executives like Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Melinda Foundation, and
Yeah,
everybody.
well, I think that's why we get together and talk about this stuff. And I think we all understand and appreciate what you're saying. And it's part of why we engage in some of these conversations about where this stuff can hurt us, while at the same time looking at how folks who are struggling with it can be put in a position of being more empowered. So 100% on BlackRock, on all of those things. We are with you completely on that. And we reserve those for non-tech calls, just to be able to be sure that folks who are here to talk about and get their hands on questions answered have that chance to. So, I'd talk with you offline about it. I really can, but I don't think there's a real forum here to continue with that right this minute. You
Right.
good
I
with
mean, we
that?
do all agree that this technology is like out of control, and it's something that we all need to question.
I think that's
But
fair,
we
and I
also
think
need
we
to
got
know
it.
about it in order to be able to question it. We need to understand it.
I mean, the folks on this
That too,
call, some
yeah.
of them don't even know how to ask a question about what they're seeing. So we started about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago with some very basic stuff. So you're coming into like level 3 of where we are. And we really appreciate what you're sharing with us. And we are completely embracing what you're saying. But we're going to move on to Sabrina, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Will.
Cool. Thanks.
So when you were saying how like you don't want to be caught not understanding the technology, you made me think of like the representatives and the senators when they're having those conversations with big tech, and it's like, wow, dude, you are so far behind the curve. You don't just not know this app. You don't understand your phone, you know? And so
Makes you wonder how they get to work, doesn't it?
obviously with the assistance of the people around them.
Yeah.
Some of them are getting kind of old too. Anyway, but I do have a question. So I don't use AI a ton. One of the reasons is that I had heard it uses a ton of water.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, if I don't have a good reason to use it, I'm not using it. I tried to turn it off in my Google search and I couldn't figure it out, but I need to figure that out. But so I would like it to be a good reason I'm using it. So do you have like your own personal, like how did you use it? How are you using it? Anybody who's using it? Because I'm not really using it right now.
That's an amazing question and a perfectly like, okay, yes, it uses an enormous amount of water because the engines that fuel it, they get very hot. And so they need water in order to cool it. Okay. The reason I started using AI is because I was alone in creating Eastern Illinois Indivisible, and I had nobody else helping me. So as a person in dark red MAGA country, as an organizer in dark red MAGA country, creating Eastern Illinois Indivisible, I needed help. And the only way that I could, I guarantee y'all, the only way that I would have been able to do what I did, like in the matter of time, I could have been able to do it without AI, but I would never have been able to accomplish what I did in like the month that I did it. I did it in like
Claire.
yeah, with Claire. And it was Chat GPT at the time. But Chat GPT is a mouthful of syllables, and you can talk to Chat GPT. And so I call her Claire because yeah. And so it went about that I started thinking about it in January, and by the Ides of March, I had opened up Eastern Illinois Indivisible. And so in those 3 months, with the help of Claire, I had created it, and it never would have happened without. So that was my reason. Now I continue to use AI sparingly, as sparingly, and that's not as sparingly as I should. You're right. I need to think about that more. I think I
no condemnation. No condemnation here.
No. You're right though. I need to think about it more. I think I've become more dependent upon it as I've gone along, just because it's become easy to search. It searches so much more than I'm able to search.
The joke right now, Cecilia, just so you know, the joke is that old folks are using it like Google. And as soon as we figure out how to use it like the Gen Z folks, then we'll be making that microphone or whatever that guy's looking at. But we are at the early adopter stage in this as a community. And I'm going to say our age broadly, not, I'm making that for everybody from 35 to 85. That's our age that I'm talking about. But it is huge. It has become Google, and I use it that way. I cannot tell a lie. I want the whole answer. I don't want to have to think around. And that is why Google Chrome, which is a Google product, added AI to their search bar. They've been refining this using our queries. So if you've used Chrome in the last 10 years, you have participated in the bundle. We are all in it now, whether we had a choice or not, because of our technology choices. So, Steve.
So how much do you get?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No,
just,
Sabrina. Yeah.
How much do you trust it though?
Well, I don't trust anything about it. I verify everything it says. I'll go all the way back to Ulysses S. Grant. I am a trust but verify check. But I am that on everything. But what I have done is I have loaded a predefined set of prompts that tell it how to interact with me. I tell it I only want verifiable sources. I only want click-through links. I only want, and I keep going.
Here's the thing about AI. It's like a relationship. You have to have good boundaries. You have to.
It will tell you what you want to hear if you are asking it wrongly.
Exactly. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we can all agree that AI took over the internet.
Okay, we're done with you, bud.
I'm sorry. Well, we can't. I understand that what you're trying to get at here, but we're here to learn about it so we can understand it better. We're not here to fearmonger. Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's scary. This stuff is scary.
It is scary. So we're here to learn about it so we can understand it.
Acknowledged. Yeah.
We acknowledge that it's fear, that it's scary.
I get what you're saying though. Put the boundaries on it, and
just like boundaries.
That makes sense. I don't know.
Think about it like you're talking to a 3-year-old. Okay, if you tell your 3-year-old to take the trash out, you have to tell them, and don't trip over the curb, and don't stub your toe, and make sure you hold the trash can tightly. So I apologize. I feel like I'm yelling at you. I am so sorry. I get motivated over the idea of how to help people figure out how to use it, because
because you really do have to tell, because it doesn't know, especially if you're just getting started with it, because it's like you're building a computer, because you're building its knowledge of you. So you have to tell it everything. You have to tell it exactly how to interact with you.
Let's let Steve get into the chat. Otherwise, we're just sitting here and everybody's watching us talk. Steve, please.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to bring up was talking about Google search and the technology of AI. Through the technology classes that we've been having, I started using Perplexity sparingly. And by using Perplexity, I can ask a question in Google and I can ask it in Perplexity and I can compare the results, and I get many more aspects in Perplexity that I wouldn't have thought of or wouldn't have led to. And then I can, from there, choose my own search and the information that I want to bring in. For example, in my own exploration with the Christian right and the Christian nationals and aspects of spirituality, to be able to get information from different sides without it being skewed and do my own exploring was what Perplexity has helped me be able to do. So I don't use the AI all the time, but when I do, it quickens my search to be able to get results I want.
Yes, and I mean, I don't think anyone fails to acknowledge that there is power and water that goes with that. But if everybody else is moving at the speed of AI and I am dragging my computer behind me like a brick, I am not participating in my mind at the highest level that I can, because we need to be agile folks. We need to be able to inform ourselves. We need to be able to make use of that which has, frankly, it seems like being made use against us for a while now. So I
That is the
appreciate
other
your
thing.
approach. Yeah, go ahead.
If we lag behind and we allow them to utilize AI against us, and we don't understand the platform and understand what is being used against us, or even utilize it for our defense, that makes no mistake. No, it makes no sense whatsoever. So that's what we're trying to do here as well.
I'll just say this. This is the guardrail that I use for everything. If they'll do it for you, they'll do it to you. So that is how I approach all tech. If you're getting it for free, you're probably changing something for it. Just know what that is and make a decision. Dr. Chris is here with us. Carry on.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is I'm one of those folks that started I use AI on a pretty regular basis right now, both Perplexity as well as what is it, Chat GPT. I had played around a little bit with Chat GPT just kind of as a fact checker, and I've also used Grok. I use Grok basically because I have a lot of MAGA friends, and so it was a better source of information when I did fact checking if I would fact check in Grok, because they saw it as Elon Musk's AI. So each one had kind of its purpose. So what I would say is certainly there are things that we can do much faster and more efficiently with AI. And honestly, I almost can't not function with it. Like I'm reliant on it now, and partly because of a time issue. I agree with Stephanie's point that it's a technology just like the internet was that we've got to get on board with, because that are where the train's leaving us. But I also think there is a number, I think there's risk associated with it. I've experienced it myself. And like I said, I'm a regular user, but I'm also, pretty informed in terms of what facts are, especially once I'm doing a deep dive. And I had like a major mistake that it made the other day, and this was Perplexity, and they're usually even better than Chat GPT for fact checking. They didn't know that the current pope is the current pope. And even normally you can go back and say, no, actually we had a change in pope, Pope Francis is not the current pope, and whatever. And I had to do that. Like I never got to a point, even after I attached an article showing that we had a new pope. For whatever reason, normally you could say, hey, you must have missed this, right? And then they'll come back and update their answer. And I didn't have time to keep like tracking it all the way down. So it can go really, really wrong, especially if you don't know the limitations of it. And what I do is like Stephanie said, my background is when I worked at DoD. At the end of my career, I was working in security, and so we're kind of trust but verify people. You know, when you're doing background investigations on people. So what I do is I have it help me find the source documents. And that's really what I'm trying to get after anyway, you know, because source documents, you know, whether it's the original video, et cetera, don't go wrong. And then a lot of times it will give you, I mean, it gives you the references. So then you can look at your references and then you know how to evaluate certain references, right? Meaning we know references like, you know, like some are satirical ones that you wouldn't, Babylon Bee is not going to be one that you base your fact checking on. Whereas if it's Reuters or AP News, you're more likely to use those. So sometimes what it helps me to do, like Stephanie said, is like in one search, you just get much more depth and breadth than you would in a Google search, where sometimes you're going to have 3 additional follow-ups. So it's a time saver. But I do agree that we've got to, in fact, I'd really even like to see us take this to a more formal level where we've got to train people. They have to know about digital literacy.
Yes.
And so maybe a session, you know, because we have a number of people in our group, some that are very, very concerned about the issues, but are also experts, you know, meaning they have good reason to be concerned because this is what they do, right? So they know all the issues. So I've had conversations with some of those people. So I heard them. I was like, yep, I hear your concern, but I'm still kind of taking the position that Stephanie takes. And that is, but it's here to stay. I'm going to be an informed consumer. I'm going to know what the risks are. And then I'm going to also, you know, like Cecilia said, you know, maybe not use it for everything, knowing the environmental impact. But that's why we've got to, you know, get back in office, right? We've got to regain power. And then we've got to do some legislation that will control for some of those risks. So like I said, there's digital literacy, but then dang, you know, we have big companies right now buying up land in order to build these big, you know, AI, infrastructure, and then literally suck the whole community dry of water and whatever. And we've got to legislate for that. Like, meaning there's got to be legislation that prevents that. But we're not in power now, guys. So that's why right now we're using it as a tool, right, to help us with our activism role. And then we regain power, and then we put some of the checks and balances that need to be in place. Thanks.
Because y'all,
Appreciate that.
they are trying to go after like the Great Lakes to get after the water. Like it's that bad. So these things, also, there are other options. Proton, we talk a lot about Proton for email and Proton for a VPN. They have just released an AI option that is a safer AI so that it doesn't follow your search history like all of the other AI do. This is, of course, if you utilize Proton Mail or Proton VPN, you have access to Lomi. It's Lomi, isn't it?
And we can talk about those things. Yeah, go ahead, Rebecca, if you're going to answer that. No, I think you're a perfect introduction to what does next level look like. Quickly, before I forget, Chris, if you get an immediate hallucination back in your response, I don't care what AI you're using, don't try and convince it it's right or you're right, because what will happen is you may end up in a feedback loop where all you end up with is talking to yourself, getting the answers you want based on the sources you put in, and getting the response you want, which, while we're talking about hallucinations in chat, that's a sketchy hallucination because you've told it what to listen to, right? So if you've said, I only want to listen to things about Aristotle on this, then you're only going to get Aristotelian, I can get that word out of my mouth, responses. So if you get a bad
Stephanie,
response, just start over.
Yeah, so part of what I was doing really was testing the AI. I'm aware that you can do that, especially when it goes awry. We all know that with Chat GPT with graphics, it's just better when they go crazy with you to just start it all over. But for this one, it really was more about me being aware how bad it can go bad, even for something that should have been so obvious. So it was really, I was kind of playing with it intentionally just to say, wow, like how deep in is it going to dig in saying, no, you're wrong. Pope Francis is the thing. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. and here's an article to support. Yeah. So
What she's saying is you were in that same feedback loop.
I understand what she was saying, Cecilia. I was making a point of testing the AI, but thanks.
No, thank you. And it's a great point that you make. It depends on whether you are in fact testing the AI or trying to get answers out of it. So appreciate that caveat. That was helpful. I have seen Laura's hand for a little while.
At that point, I had transitioned to testing the AI because I've been trying to capture all the different weaknesses, because I've had other ones that are even more concerning, where it really looks like a legit answer and it has data and numbers and they're wrong. You know, so yeah. So part of it is just capturing in my, this is the risk you're assuming category, and kind of playing with the tool. Thanks.
That's a great personal experience. It's important for everybody to share that kind of stuff on this call. Appreciate it. Laura, go.
Okay, I am addressing something that I think Sabrina brought up about turning off Google's AI in the overview. I have not done a complete search because I've just started doing it since she mentioned it, because I was curious. And it looks like you cannot turn it off. It is part of Google.
Baked
It's
into
like one
Chrome,
of their, yeah, it is. You can go to, they do say you can go to Search Labs, which is part of Google. I'm not real familiar with that, and I couldn't keep that many things in my brain at once.
My kids' school have the AI response turned off on their Chromebooks.
Do they use Search Labs? It might be different for Chromebook. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, so understand Laura's using an Android, you know, and you
No,
get into
no.
I'm on
my desktop
Got
now.
it.
No.
Okay.
Android is just for helping. It's too
Your
small
phone.
to use all the time.
Yeah, I got a big old Pixel that I use for helping folks. So
Yeah.
no, I think folks are going to figure out if they can help you with that. And in the meantime, we'll have a little boot.
Boot money.
Boot money.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You know, from a lot of stuff that's being said, Stephanie, is there perhaps a structured methodology for framing questions to AI that, you know, our group experience might be able to hone for specific AI engines? But it seems to me that unless we understand how we're asking for data from AI, we're leaving the responsibility all on the tool. All right. And I'm thinking, all right, when I learned to use a mechanics tool to fix an engine, I had to learn what each specific tool did for what I wanted to get out of this experience. Is that the same approach that maybe we need to take a look at and have cascading questioning to an AI engine or multiple engines to be like, as Steve said, you know, a way to self-correct our what we're looking for?
Well, I think you're 100% in terms of structuring a bit how this goes, how it goes. That was random of me. How to effectively make prompts using an assortment of the AI tools. And we could start just broadly with how to craft prompts. And I mean, I can help facilitate almost a lot of things that folks might want to hear. So we had some prepared stuff that we started with, but I'm hot for what you're describing. I mean, we could work together and talk about how those prompts work both philosophically and practically. I mean, there's a lot to be said in all of this. So I appreciate the question and the idea. Thank you.
There's definitely a structure to questioning AI, and I think that we should have we can have a little quick
A little prompts class. Yes, we can.
prompts class.
Yeah, I think we're kind of fleshing out the full schedule for October, and I
Yeah.
know we're already into it, but I mean, there are things. Sabrina, hang on. Go, Sabrina. Where'd you
Hey,
go?
oh, sorry, I took my hand down. I
What am
forgot.
I-
Leave it up.
Yeah.
I'll put it back up. Anyway, so yeah, I was just gonna like reaffirm, like you guys are saying stuff that I'm not even this is the first time I'm ever hearing it or whatever. Like some of these different I didn't know there was much other than Chat GPT. I'm just gonna be I didn't think it was
Oh, young lady, young
Gotcha.
lady.
okay.
You lower Alabamans.
I know. I can smell the
It's
racism
okay.
from
Everything
here.
gets to you last.
Yeah, so definitely like I could use some help because I just haven't invested myself in it. And then when they said the water thing, I was like, all right, that's an excuse not to use it.
And it all makes good sense. And then in turn, what we haven't done is introduce Sabrina as somebody who's going to come and talk to us about podcasting, like how real people in the real world actually put together a podcast from end to end. She's got a tool set. It's going to be hot. I can feel it. I am excited. And she is going to carry it for us. So she and I have to hook up metaphorically and organize what that looks like. I recognize that my whole vocabulary like needs an upgrade. I'm working, guys. I am translating
It's
as I go. So,
I'm laughing.
you know,
I'm
I know
laughing.
you are. I like realize, okay, you got to clean that one up a little. So I appreciate you allowing me to refine my vocabulary going forward. But no, I am thrilled that you are going to do a podcasting segment for us. It is very exciting. I see
And
Chris has her hand up. Go ahead, Cecilia. You can do your part of the intro.
I was going to say, and she's going to be helping out with a little bit of soup. Because she's on furlough right now, y'all. She's a federal worker, so she's got nothing better to do. So we're going to utilize her. Well, I'm sure she's got other stuff to do. I mean, I'm sorry, Sabrina. She's mother. She's got plenty of stuff.
Okay.
I don't have
What
more
you're not
important things right now.
What
Correct.
you're not saying is that she is your childhood friend from high school,
Oh,
and
right.
that piece matters.
Right. That is something I'm leaving out. That also matters. So yes, Dr. Chris, what's up?
Yeah, so I was gonna say, and I think maybe you guys are picking up on this anyway, is that you know, when we first explored AI quite some time ago and were introduced to Perplexity and Chat GPT, those were more kind of like free flowing type sessions, if you will, versus, you know, beginning to end sessions for new users. So we may be at a point where we have a kind of a beginning to end with slides user session on some of the different AI tools and kind of what their purposes are, and just like the prompts, you know, et cetera, beginner prompts, and then maybe for some of the people on this call, you know, more intermediate prompts, but things that those types of how-to videos would be really great. And then if we get them on the YouTube channel, then we have them for, you know, indefinitely. And then anybody joining the group can get to, you know, Intro to AI 101, you know, and then we can have the 202 version, et cetera. Because yeah, I'll give you an example. One of my colleagues here at Bexar County Dems, and actually she's the president of Young Dems, has resisted to the, you know, a great extent using any type of AI because of her concerns with the environment. Okay, so and just recently she reached out to me because but she's in the same boat where she's a young, very busy activist, you know, with you know, being the head of the Young Dem. She's the head of the communications committee. She's on the rapid response team. So anyway, she's like, you know, I'm at the point now where I really am going to have to, because I had shared with her some of the things that we were using AI for, and she said, yeah, I'm going to have to kind of break down, if you will, like her extent of it had been the note taker AI. You know, I mean, she has different note takers because she's in all these meetings and she needs someone. So Anyway, I say that even some of the people that were hesitant to use it are now feeling like they have to almost use it just to get stuff done. But if you're not in a situation where you have to use it to get stuff done, meaning multitasking and like for me, I use it a lot for fact checking. It just saves me so much time. But you guys know that that's one of my big areas of, passion and interest, where I'm constantly disrupting misinformation, meaning that's my mission, and so it saved me time in doing that. So anyway, but yeah, so my point was maybe we just need those more like 1 hour session how-tos, and then put it in on the YouTube channel, and then people can pick it up if they join at where we are now and they need to catch up. So that's
no, I
all
mean,
I
that makes that makes good sense, Chris. I appreciate it. I mean, we sort of started out with people who were asking, so what is AI? And, I mean, I wasn't sure how or what we would structure it. So it's turned into kind of an ask me anything at different points that we've tried to narrow down. And, as long as we don't have folks, and I say this with a full understanding, who want to change the conversation while we're having it, those sort of structured things can absolutely be handled. But I have been handling this as people show up and we answer questions, and we get as many smart folks on the phone as we can and try and do it. So I appreciate that. And we will see about moving to a structured format for those things that require an introduction and some of that basis. Because I agree there's value in this. It's just how we, I'm going to say make it ready for prime time.
Yeah, and Stephanie, I wasn't suggesting that like for this forum where it is kind of like a ask anything that we need to change that. I think it's a good thing. I'm saying we may have to do an intro to AI and just get it up on YouTube just for the folks that haven't, or even record a new one, so during one of these tech
For
sessions.
sure.
So, okay, I just wanted to clarify.
And I'm happy to help with that if anybody, because
Oh, that's
I'll be
thrilling.
learning.
We will take all comers when it comes to the forklifts of heavy technology into the new world. The squirrels are busy in the cage back here trying to make everything safe while everybody wants to do stuff.
That too is the truth, y'all. All right. Well,
So generally, yep, we're coming up on it. Thank you, Rebecca. No, I'm sorry, Cecilia. I can't speak.
No, that's okay. Today has been awesome. We have been just going through, doing our thing. Deep breath. Bill had to make his way to another meeting, but everything has been we've gone through and done everything that we were supposed to do. So the fact that we checked off all our boxes today, I'm actually kind of proud of us, guys. Rebecca didn't get knocked off of Zoom, and I mean we made it.
It's gonna happen now.
I know. Like, this was a lovely hands-on experience today. I'm so proud of all of us. Anyway, no, y'all, we have our list for next week. We're gonna probably next week looks like we're gonna have a prompts class, and
okay, we will have a prompts class. We will see if it is ready for next week. Watch a email from you from Bill.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do our best. I want to collaborate with Rebecca a little on that. She writes some mean prompts.
Yeah, we can.
And especially given that next week we'll be heading into No Kings, we may need to keep it a little like chill and casual.
It might be 2 weeks.
We could probably talk about Proton Mail, the Proton Suite, at least from an introductory perspective. We'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I think Adrian will help us with that, maybe, and maybe Beth. I don't know. We've got some helpers for that, but I'm thinking we ought to at least talk about because we've introduced the term proton numerous times without any more additional sidebars. So
that's not true. I talked about it in the beginning, but that's okay. Anyway, I kind of totally spaced on please don't judge. I kind of spaced on No Kings there for a minute. So,
it's sneaking up on us.
It is sneaking up. It is really just like not far. All right, y'all. With that in mind, so next week, hopefully we'll take it easy.
We will
But
have another great program for you. We just
we
don't know what
will
it
have
is yet.
another great program. So
And it'll be back at the normal 2 o'clock Central on Wednesday time.
yeah, this will only happen once a month. And the reason that we did it is because once a month, Leah and Ezra have a leaders meeting. And that is today. It's for indivisible leaders. If you're a leader on the leadership team of your group, you are welcome. You can find it in Mobilize.
There's not
Anyway,
a real big knockout criteria for who gets to go. Put it that way.
it
Say
is
you're a
not.
leader,
There's
you are
not,
one.
y'all. Honestly, I think you just need to search it and you can find it and you're welcome in. Anyway,
our
okay.
decentralized organization has a very loose affinity.
We do. Okay. With
All
that
right.
in mind, we've kept y'all long enough. I hope you have a good day. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Anybody have any last minute? Yep.